Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Confession, a movie that, I don't know, feels a little bit like a TV movie or an episode of SVU stretched out over 90 minutes. But let's take a look. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 10. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. I recognize one of the actors in this, the guy who's playing the cop. But this guy here, I've seen him in stuff before. I can't think of his name. But the premise is there was a wild party. A woman claims to have been sexually assaulted. And then from there, the trailer gets a little wonky because it's like, I think some of the people who were attacked or attacked her allegedly then start showing up dead. And it's not very clear if the assault, I think the assault happened, because then part of it is they talk to victims and then there's more evidence and other victims, but then statute of limitation runs out, and I think one of the girls takes it into her own hands to go after these guys. Something like that. It's a little confusing. Written by Gregory Mulligan, directed by Danya Hansen, Clark Bacco, Sarah Hay, Nolan Gerard Funk, cool name, Michael Ironsides, that's who it is. Okay, wow, I didn't recognize him. I didn't recognize him with the facial hair. He's a little heavier too. And Sterling Beaumont, who I don't know, but Michael Ironsides I know. He was a heavy. He was in Total Recall. He was one of the bad, I think the bad guy in Total Recall. So, yeah, I think she becomes a vigilante. But it's not even clear if she kills the guys or if she's trying to extract a confession out of them, which I don't know how that would be usable in a court of law. I don't even know if she's actually... It's not totally... And she's the prosecutor. It's very confusing. It's a little confusing. It feels like an SVU episode because there are a lot of characters that none of them seem to be the focus, which is typical in SVU because it's not about the characters' development per se. It's more about the bigger issue. And so it feels like that in format. Not to say that that's bad, but it doesn't seem right for a movie like this, right? It would seem like if this was going to be called Confession, and so I think she's the main character. I'm not sure. Michael Ironside starts out pretty prominent, and he seems to be the big character. Yeah, he's way heavier than I remember him. But he's got a good look for a cop, right? Yeah, he looks very cop-like. Very, very tired, world-weary. So good on him getting back in the game. I'm sure he's been in a million things. This is the first time I've seen him in a while. So yeah, it just feels like a TV movie or an SVU episode, not a. There's no focus here. It's like all over the map. Too many characters, I think, for a movie. For a TV show, it'd be fine, because it's like, for a TV show, you kind of spread that character development across a season or a series. And you may not even really want it. Those characters are, in SVU, it's kind of like they're placeholders. You know what I mean? For your soapbox. And again, I have no problem with that. I watched Law and Order, all versions of it for years. These days, I think it's a little woke, and they've kind of taken it too far and too long. But for a movie, I don't know. I just don't think it's exciting enough, if that makes sense. It's not a big enough story. Like, if this was a true story, maybe, or if it, I don't know, tied into like it was the mayor's son who committed the crime and it's a big cover-up and then there's going to be a car chase. It feels like too small a story to sustain the movie. And it doesn't, it doesn't seem to dig down into any of the characters. There's too many people here, just too many. So you're not. I don't think you're going to get invested in enough of the characters. You know, as soon as you get invested in the Michael Ironsides, then you're going to be following the prosecutor as she interviews victims. And I don't think that's going to be very entertaining. That's not to say it's not an important issue or anything like that, but this isn't about that. You know, I do these things all the time with trailer analysis, and then people get mad at me because, well, you didn't like it, or you think this is not an important issue, and it's just like, it's not about that. It's about if this movie is going to be entertaining. Is this going to keep you focused on it for 90 minutes? I don't know. Maybe if you've been in this situation, you might be like, oh, let me watch this because this speaks to me. But there's not a lot of people who have been in that issue. It's not a common occurrence, I'll say. It's happened, of course, but it's not a common enough occurrence that the general public's going to be like, oh yeah, let's see what happened to this character. It's, and it's not something, I don't think there's enough drama here. It just doesn't feel that way. So here's the write-up. An up-and-coming district attorney takes on the case of a young woman who has accused 3 men of sexual assault. She puts her career on the line in order to uncover a deep web of mystery, murder, and deception. Yeah, I don't think that's enough. So I guess it's the prosecutor, her. She's going to be the main character. And she doesn't even feel like the main character in the movie. Sorry. I don't think she can. She's not drawing me in. She felt like a side character. Yeah. I don't think she can. She's not dominating the screen. Michael Ironsides, I thought he was the main character. Which makes sense because he's a veteran actor. There's a reason he's been in the business for as long as he has. I mean, he's probably got a good 50-year career. She's new. I mean, you got to dominate the screen. You got to sell it to me. She looks like she's there. She's pretty, but I'm not like, ooh, what happens to her? She seems interesting. She's just sort of there. So first act, there's a terrible event. Or this girl goes to a party. At first it's great, it's crazy, and then, I don't know, she gets assaulted, I guess. And again, the reason I say I guess, it's because it's a movie. The big twist at the end could be she faked the whole thing in order to kill these guys. I don't know. But it seems like, yes, it's a real assault. She goes to the cops and, oh, there's no evidence. Or whatever. Second act. See, I don't even think she shows up until the second act, really. So second act, she takes up the torch to help this woman, realizes these guys have a history of this, is investigating, along with Michael Ironsides as the cop, trying to get the DA to bring charges, but these guys are rich or whatever. It's an SVU episode. So eventually, sometime in the, I'm going to say late in the second act, doesn't look like they're going to be charged. The woman takes justice into her own hands and I guess starts killing these guys. I guess. And then, I don't know. See, that part of it doesn't ring true to an SVU episode. See, in an SVU episode, the big twist would be, yes, she was sexually assaulted, but then, the bad guys go to prison, but she also goes too because, I don't know, she lied about a portion of it, or she's done this before, something like that. How it goes in the SVU episode. It's often kind of like, it's film noir in a way. Like, there's really no good guys. Or, they get away because they're so rich, or they get a slap on the wrist or whatever, and there's nothing they could do. I think in this, maybe she starts killing these guys or trying to, and kills like one or two of them, and then gets caught and they have to arrest her, and it's like, but they assaulted me, and then they get away. See, that's not a movie. That's not a movie. What it should be is something more dramatic. That because again, it's a movie. It's only 90 minutes, not like a TV series where you're going to stretch it out over 10 hours across the season. So you got to throw everything at the wall. So it has to be that this prosecutor was also assaulted many years ago, and she didn't press charges, and now she has to redeem herself by capturing these guys, and puts everything on the line to do that, and in the process nearly gets killed herself, or in the process she snaps and kills these guys. That would be interesting. Or uses her, office to abuse her power to get these guys. And in the end, she goes to jail too, but they go to jail. Maybe something like that. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like there's enough here. I hate to say that because it's Michael Ironsides, and he's really good in the trailer. I mean, he just kind of dominates the screen, I think. You watch it. You tell me. So my confession is I probably wouldn't see this movie. But even though it's kind of in my wheelhouse, but this is not the kind of crimes I like to, I like to see like robberies and, killings, that kind of crime for my movies. Organized crime, not this kind of stuff, which is, it's always a lot of grays. And like, not for nothing, the bad guys in this movie they're not very nuanced. So, this is kind of it's a no for me, dog. Sorry. So, Confession, look for it on VOD, I assume. And that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. We'll be doing a live stream at 8 tonight. I got to go to Super Bowl party. See ya in the next one.